So this is the before the spacers. You see that tuck there? Get as close as we can get to the side there. Hey, what is up? Thanks for joining me for another video. I really appreciate it. Today we're going to be going over wheel spacers. What are wheel spacers? Well, wheel spacers are just that. They space your wheel. They push the tire and rim out from the hub. The wheel spacer I chose to go with is a 20 millimeter forged spacer by NGT. I got them off the Kahrtunerz website. I will link that in the description. Full disclosure, I have had these spacers on and I have been running them for a bit and they are excellent. Zero problems, zero rubbing. My car is lowered on iBox springs and I haven't had any issues. The reason I took it off is so I could show you guys just how easy it is to install and what a big difference it makes. Hey look, I got a helper. Everybody, this is little Catalina and she's gonna help me put on the wheel spacers today. Aren't ya? Gonna help put on the wheel spacers? Oh yeah, you're gonna help. You're gonna need some sort of jack, obviously. So I got a floor jack, which is fine. You put it under the pinch welds and the jacking points and jack up your car. I also use jack stands because I like that added safety. I never just trust a jack on its own. And I definitely don't want to be dropping my car down on its rotor. First thing you're going to need is either a breaker bar or tire iron with your socket that you need to break your lug nuts. The next thing is controversial. You'll have to make a decision if you want to use Loctite on your wheel spacers. This one's the red one, even though it's in the blue bottle. This one's the blue Loctite, even though it's in the red bottle. So you can do your own research whether you want to use this. People say that if you put on your spacer without Loctite, it's no different than putting on your wheel without Loctite. So if it's torqued properly, you should be fine. But if you want extra added safety, then go ahead, use Loctite. Of course, the red one is going to be problematic to get off if you want to remove those spacers. The blue one, of course, is going to be a little easier to break. Next, you will need a torque wrench. You want to torque those wheel nuts down and make sure they're nice and tight. I'm going to also use, this is copper coat. So I'm going to put this on the back side of the spacer just because I don't want it to infuse onto the hub. I've seen nightmare videos of guys hammering their wheels to try to break off their wheel spacer or their wheel. So I'm just being overcautious. This, of course, is optional. So the jacking point for the Kia Stinger is right there on that pinch weld. As you can see, those little indents. I don't know if you can see way down to the front there, but there's more indents down there. That is the recommended spot to place your jack. You can also get pinch weld adapters that fit on your jack if you would like to do that, but there is the spot that I'm going to be jacking up. Another key thing to remember is when you do jack it up, get it right on the pinch weld and try to miss your side skirt. You don't want to pinch that up and start jacking on that and have it rip. So make sure you look under where your jack is. So you're going to want to pop off this center cap with something soft. You don't want to get a screwdriver in there, so I just use this little plastic deal to pop it off because I don't want pry marks from a screwdriver. Before you jack it up, obviously you want to crack your lug nuts because you don't want the tire spinning. I don't think it spins on the back, but I know for a fact on the front that the tire does spin, and you actually will need a second person when you put on the spacer on the front side to hold the brake pedal down so you can torque down that spacer. The socket size is 21 millimeters. So I'm just cracking them loose. Remember that you will also need, most likely you have a lock nut on there. So mine was installed from factory, so I definitely need that. Put that on there. There we go. All my lug nuts are loose. So I'm now going to jack it up and set it in place. Wheels off, and it's time to put on our spacer. Of course, we're going to want to remove these nuts because we need those to fasten the spacer to the hub. Like I mentioned earlier, I am going to put copper coat. This is a high heat copper coat just on the back. Just going to brush it like that. This is totally optional and you do not have to do this, but like I said, I don't want mine to seize on, which they probably won't. They do have a coat of paint on them, but you never know. So I'm just going to do that. Comment below if you think I'm crazy or it's unnecessary. So you just put the spacer on there. Make sure it goes into the center of that hub. Like I mentioned, it is hub centric. It's got that little lip there. You're gonna wanna take your nuts, put them on. One thing to remember, you want that tapered part going in towards the hub. These nuts, by the way, are a 19 millimeter. So you got 21 millimeter for your wheel stud nuts and 19 for the hub. You want to tighten in a star pattern. Make sure everything is flush. You didn't catch a lip. Everything looks flush. So now we'll torque it, and I'm going to torque it down to 100 foot-pounds. So again, you're going to tighten it in a star pattern. We're all torqued down to 100 foot-pounds. Spacers installed. Pretty simple, no different than changing a flat tire like I mentioned. Now let's get the tire put back on. All right, tire's back on. Now we need to torque it down. Torque specs on Kia Stinger tire, from what I've gathered, is about 76 foot-pounds to 96 foot-pounds. I'm gonna go on the higher side. So let's get them torqued down. So we got everything torqued down tight. We can now put the center cap back on and it just pops on pretty darn easy. Just like that. And I'll jack up the car, get my jack stand out, and we will look at the difference. So this is the before the spacers. You see that tuck there? Get as close as we can get to the side there. And here's the after. As you can see, that sits pretty flush to the edge of that fender there. Let's get a top view. Swing it down to this side. We'll try to get it as close to the car as we can. Again, that's 20 millimeters on the front and back. And it completely changes the look of your car. Here's the front. Testing. Hey, how's the audio quality in this video? Comment below, let me know. I am testing a new mic that I just got actually yesterday, so I want to know what you guys think, if the audio is coming across a lot clearer, because I am in a garage a lot of the times and there is a huge echo in here if I'm not using a mic. So that's going to wrap it up on today's video on the installation of the wheel spacers. I think they look amazing on these cars. Fitment is flush. They're very easy to install and changes the complete stance of the car. I hope I was able to help somebody out there decide if they want to put wheel spacers on or how to put wheel spacers on. It is an easy task, but again, not everybody knows. If you've seen something I did wrong, comment below. I'm here to learn as well and help people as much as I can. So if we work together, we can all help each other. All right, until next time.